to stop Ongwae from interfering with water.
4 employees of Gusii Water and Sanitation Company arrested as the new managing director is locked out of office. Good afternoon and welcome to the program. It has been 3 days of brainy engagement for candidates who have been tackling the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education KCPE examinations that began on Tuesday this week. Over 1 million pupils have tackled the test. It is set to secure them a chance to secondary schools next year, with the Ministry of Education promising a 100% transition rate. Many stakeholders have been involved in this nationwide exercise, and the Cabinet Secretary has lauded their joint effort, beginning with the solid support from the candidates themselves. Here is the take of the CS.
I also credit our children. They have been amazing. I mean, I've traveled around and I have visited with them. I have had discussions with them. They're very happy. They're very enthusiastic to participate in these national examinations. And I could see that with no interference from the rest of us adults, yeah, this country will just be fine. Yeah, because we have children who really are a blessing. You know, in all the schools I went, you could just see the enthusiasm and the happiness of these children, that they were sitting their exams, right, and thinking of what they will be doing next year, right. The assurance that they're all going to move to first Form 1, right, next year, and that there was going to be 100% transition, I think also supported, right, to keep these exams honest.
The Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed also expressed her worry over the rising numbers of teenage pregnancies. At least 9 KCPE candidates had babies in the period of these exams. The CS has stated the government will pursue those responsible for teenage pregnancies and make them support the newborn babies.
It's complicated and worrying, I think, for us as parents and as leaders in our country, because these children should actually be in school. They should not be in hospital nursing young babies. They are children themselves. They are babies themselves. So this should not be the case. And I think that all of us need to self-reflect and really think seriously about what is happening in our country, how we are not protecting those that God gave to us to protect. Right? A child is a gift, and that will never change. Right? Whether that child is born by a 13-year-old or by a 40-year-old, a child is a gift from God. We need to protect these children because they're actually the future of our country. If we don't protect them, then our country's future is in jeopardy. So my message is that as parents, as brothers, as sisters, siblings, uncles, grandfathers, let's protect these children. Let's not expose them to things that they're not supposed to be exposed to at such a tender age. They should be playing in the field, and they should be studying for exams and for their classes. They should not be subjected to what they have been subjected to. And I feel terrible about that, but I'm happy that they were able to actually sit the exams. I'll be encouraging them to move to Form 1 and encouraging their parents, their grandparents, their guardians to help them look after these children. And you know what? We are going to follow up. We'll see whether we can actually find those that are responsible, right? Because they owe these children, these young babies that were born yesterday and the day before, right, support. And so we will go after them. If we find them, we'll make sure that they provide support to these babies.
Carolyn B has been gathering the ministry's review of the exercise and now joins us live from our city center studios. B, good afternoon. These exams are truly guarded in the country, but certainly not without anomalies. We've had cases of more than 14 KCPE candidates involved in cases of either pregnancy, others giving birth in the course of the examinations themselves. What more can you tell us?
Well, Michelle, good afternoon to you. Concerning the issue of new mothers or new moms, for that matter, the Cabinet Secretary said it was actually a worrying trend that such a high number or such high cases was being reported in the country during the 3-day period for the KCPE examinations. And she said so far they had official records of 9 new mothers, but the numbers could be higher since maybe they were not able to access all the statistics that happened during the 3 period, but they are still continuing to gather more information over the same, and they are going to release official statistics once they are able to get that, but they said that it's high time the Ministry of Education and other ministries that are involved come together and ensure that they put an end to these. There's also the issue of, well, concerning irregularities, the CS Amina actually reiterated that they did not experience any of that. The exams was very smooth, saying it was 99.9% free of any irregularities, and every measure that they had put in place to curb cheating worked very well. And this is going to be the same measures that are going to be observed as from next week, where KCP examinations will begin. Apart from a few places where that was observed, we had the issue of Narok, where she said they sorted that out as soon as possible, but 2 culprits were arrested and the case is currently in court. 2 people, that is in Kisii and in Migori, the case is in court and they're going to follow up on that. There are also issues of deaths which were reported among the candidates. She could not comment on that, given that investigations were ongoing and it could jeopardize the outcome of those investigations. Besides, she did not want to do any guesswork until the investigations are complete. Then she's going to give an official report about the same. But concerning the KCP examinations, KCSE rather, examinations which are going to begin on Monday, she said, she actually says that they're going to ensure that no leaking will take place compared to other years where there have been cases of leaking of this national examinations. She says none was reported during the KCPE period, and they are very keen to ensure the same measures are also enforced come next week. Michelle?
All right, and Caroline, we had the CS Education there mention that 3 people have so far been arrested with links to missing examination papers. What other anomalies has the Ministry of Education come across in these 3 days?
Well, the anomalies, that is one of them which was reported. There was also the issue in Laikipia where a student was reported to have been found dead. Well, she could not comment on that, as I have said, due to the investigations which are currently ongoing. But she says once they are able to get the exact information of that, then they're going to release it to the public. But we also look at some of the places she visited today. She was at Langata Women's Prison, where there were 3 inmates who sat for these exams, and they were hopeful that they're going to do well, and they're going to get good grades and proceed to the next level. They are not the only ones. Some of the schools we also visited, which we brought together with the Cabinet Secretary this morning, the students are hopeful that they will proceed to schools come next year. And she had said that every student who's going to sit for the national examination this year is going to get a spot in secondary school next year. Well, she